Hi, Laura.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Fine.
Good. I hope the pussy willow will make it. I didn't put it in the ground yet. At Fowler I did, but some of the I forgot. I should have put it in a bucket more in the shade on Saturday. But
I think if you put it in a bucket now, it'll be fine.
well, I put it in a bucket, but it got a little too much sun. Do you think even the leaves browned up a little bit? Do you think it still might make it?
Just cut it back.
Well, yeah, just cut it back, and it shouldn't make any difference. I know. Like I told you about the log one time I cut down. I mean, it was just a piece of log this long with nothing on it, and it lay on the ground in the shade for I don't know, a month or two, and then when I went, it sprout. So
Okay.
and the ones I have here that I put outside in a light well in a bucket of water I need to put them. I probably told you about that. They've got leaders on them now, of new leaves.
Oh, good. Well, so some are in the ground at Fowler, and I still have some in a bucket. So we'll see what happens.
And there's plenty more. Oh my gosh, I just did
Okay, good.
got more pruning I have to do just to get the raspberries free of the pussy willow.
Well, do you guys make jam with the raspberries?
Oh yeah.
Good.
They're really good. Hi, Isabel.
Hi.
Yeah, there's have you ever seen purple raspberries?
No.
I got a variety. There's a farm out in middle of the state, Norris Farms.
Yeah.
There's a purple variety of raspberry that's a lot. It makes a very good jam. It's not terrific for fresh eating, but the jam is amazing.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and I got a yellow raspberry from the same farm. And if you mix yellow and red raspberries, Pam does that.
Oh,
and
nice.
Oh my, that's really makes a very nice raspberry jam.
The color's very bright.
The color, yeah, the color is very bright.
Yeah. Oh, my aunt would make it every year, and she would put it in the freezer. She would call it red gold because just such a treat to pull out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we freeze it with a little bit of sugar.
Yeah, yum.
And then in fact, our granddaughter's with us right now, and she said, "Do you have any more raspberries?" And I actually exhausted our supply from last year about a month ago.
Aww.
We'll dig.
No, and Mark, you said they're from Norse Farm.
Yeah, I think it's Nourse.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big. They're big propagators of plants, and they do use neonics. That's the downside.
Okay.
But the upside is by the time the plant is grown up and is actually flowering. Hi, Priscilla. It's not a problem. Hi, Lois. Oh, we're getting there.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. I'm glad you all were able to make this. This meeting was supposed to happen on a different time, and I'll take the blame for two of the changes. One of the changes was, well, I should probably take the blame for all of them, because the last change was I sent the agenda to the wrong email address, and so it didn't get posted. I sent it to an email address of someone who was on vacation, of course. That doesn't work very well. But now I know where to send it, so that's good. Did you guys see the note about neonics? There's a campaign to write Governor Healy encouraging them to pass a neonic ban on coated seed.
Yeah, I saw that.
You've seen it. Okay, good. Yeah, a neighbor of mine sent me one. I sent off my little signing of the petition yesterday, I think it was. If you like, I could send it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be
Okay.
great.
All right. It's not really committee business, but it's just, how you feel as an individual. Well, thanks for that workshop at the high school the other day, Priscilla. That was fantastic.
Well, I'm not sure I really led it. It was the Concord Land Trust, but it was nice to have it hosted there. Surprisingly, in that hot weather, people stayed as long as they did.
Yeah. I was delighted at how big that garden has gotten, you
It's
know?
amazing. I think it's thanks to the rain this spring. I mean, everything's really grown like a forest. Because
Yeah.
prior to that, it was, let's just say, I would say half the height. All those plants were half that height.
Yeah. But they also had breadth, you know?
Yes, they did.
Kind of things really tall. I think my garden is at least a foot taller
Yes.
than last year. I mean, just
Nice.
not enough light. I think one of the things that really was nice was to actually see the whole setting of the garden as well,
Yeah.
and think about what might be a possible future. Because
Yeah.
I think with these monsoon rains that we're having, to advertise the value of rain swells, which is what the school has. Because that's really the answer a lot to these monsoons, is to catch the water so that it doesn't run off and create the flooding.
Hmm.
I mean, Seattle's really big on it because they have, they'll get overflow into the sound, and they don't want that overflow, but nobody wants that overflow.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Less pervious surfaces, but impervious surfaces. But if you have to have impervious, have those rain swells really nearby, and rain gardens and everything else, those are all so important.
Yeah.
The property, the affordable housing property out at Bedford Road, where the two Bedford roads come together, they have several rain garden swells that were set up because of the issue of flooding.
It's great.
Well, let's see.
I texted Janet Rothrock to see if she's coming.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
I don't know the other people's. I mean, I haven't seen Steve in a while.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know that Stan is in town. So he may be in Pennsylvania, because I emailed him last week, but I haven't heard back.
And Christine can't make it, right?
Right.
Okay, so if we don't
We don't have.
We don't
Yeah.
have a quorum. We don't have a meeting.
Yeah. We can chat.
Call Janet and see if
Yeah.
she's not picking up. So let me do
Okay.
that. I'll
Okay, that'd be great. Thanks.
Thanks.
all right. I'll mute myself here.
Yeah, it's not it's not that long until the beginning of August anyway, so we can pick it up then. I did get a sort of I don't know if you got the questionnaire from the Ag Committee about the Ag Day. I'll send that around.
Yeah, and I didn't go to the meeting the other night. It was held
Okay.
in person, and my time didn't allow me to go.
Okay.
And Mark, Ag Day is September 9th?
That's
or-
right.
Okay.
September 9th. Yeah,
Second.
that's Saturday.
Second
And-
Saturday of September.
Yes.
Remind me, you guys handed out, what did you hand out last year at Ag Day?
Oh, lots of good stuff.
Yeah, I thought so.
Isabel had a lot of nice things.
Yeah. And
And,
Lois
um,
Lois made a
Priscilla-
wonderful Leave the Leaves sign for us.
And
Yeah.
I took it apart, so I don't have it anymore. And Priscilla gave us, the young people came down with some tattoos and some fun things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I seem to remember Isabel had a lot of plant samples, and I don't know how many were given away, but they were really great as
Yeah.
hands-on.
I think I gave out 60 milkweed.
Yeah.
swabs.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you had the
The
cat-
butterfly, the caterpillar in a
Yeah.
cage.
No.
That's nice. And has anybody seen the monarchs yet? I know they're usually around in August. Has anybody seen a sign of one yet?
Yeah, I've seen
Oh,
one.
good.
Yeah,
Nice.
Pam said,
Great.
yeah, Pam said she saw one today here too.
That's
Wow.
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
Yeah. We've got milkweed in the garden, so
I
Nice.
like the idea at the school of developing that milkweed trough.
Yes.
Maybe adding some other milkweed plants in there besides the common.
Yes.
So we could expand, make it more of a multi-milkweed
Sure.
area.
A milkweed display garden.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know, just to show people the various types, because I'm sure a lot of people aren't really aware of all the different species.
So Ellen Quackenbush has a couple young plants to donate, which I had said I'd send to Fowler, but haven't really heard from Fowler that they want them.
No, Dory said, I thought Dory wrote back that she wants some, but you definitely put them to the high school if they'd be better there, you know?
I think she probably has like 3 or 4, so we could give you one to go with
Yeah,
yours
we have a smaller space, so, yeah.
and give high school the rest.
Sure.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So I'll put that on my to-do list here.
And here's a question about milkweed that I should know the answer to, but it does require that cold stratification to germinate, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there've been people saying they want to plant milkweed and you have to cold stratify it.
Yeah.
And I think it's been 10 days. I think it's longer than that.
So I know like Curtis Library in Brunswick gave out milkweed seeds in October, and we still have some left over from the winter seed sow workshop, so we could package that up for late fall and have people plant it. Yeah.
Great.
It says 30 days cold stratification.
Yeah. The other thing, do you all know with the Riverfest activities, there's a pollinator event on August 5th at Minuteman National Park. So
No.
it's really, I thought when we're thinking about like, you know, partners and collaborating to do a pathway, I think they would definitely be someone to reach out to, but it's 4 o'clock on Saturday the 5th, and it's Margie Coffin Brown is taking everybody through a guided walk through Buttrick Gardens to talk about pollinator plants. So I didn't know if anyone wanted, I thought that was nice. Yeah.
Do we register or can we just show up?
You know what? I'll look. Some of them events had, I'll share it out. Some of them had registration, some of them did not. So I'm not positive. Yeah. I think just show up. I
checked out the garden and I was there. There were hardly any natives in there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, real, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I would say too. There's
Very
almost
few.
no natives.
So
Yeah.
I know Minuteman had information about native plants on their website, but do you think maybe they just don't have? Yeah, so, okay, good to know.
Looking for the pretties.
I see.
You know,
Yeah,
maybe they have them tucked in somewhere. We're not noticing them.
okay.
But you
Did
know,
not
maybe
know.
maybe it's a good thing anyway to attend if you're there. I know I'm going to be away that weekend, but you know,
Yeah,
you could talk about, well, there's native trees nearby that are actually really great pollinator hosts.
right.
I know they
Yeah.
have beech trees and things like that. And maybe you want to consider getting some more native lower plants to
Yeah,
go with them.
that's a good idea.
And some of us may have some we could share with them.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, that way it's kind of friendly.
Yeah,
Yes.
the garden in front of the town hall has quite a few natives. I was impressed.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm trying to think, there's that little island at Haywood, where Haywood Meadow is, that little island on Lexington Road there. I don't know what they are, if they're natives or not. I
Not really.
Mhm.
drive by too fast. Get out of the intersection.
One of the things that came up when I was looking at the property on Bedford Road that has the rain things is they have some dead trees. And so I talked to Eric Shaw at Highway and Grounds, and they're planning to replace those dead trees. And we got talking about the whole town planting trees. And he said that they have planted about 100 in the last year or two, and they really need stewards to help with watering, especially if we're going to up the number of trees. And that the last survey that was done, which was in 2017, 40% of the town trees were oaks, which is so they really want other than oaks.
Yeah.
There we go. Janet is responding.
Yoo-hoo.
So that makes a quorum, right?
Yes, it does.
So anyway, I'm wondering, if we want to get involved with developing a team for tree stewards, tree watering stewards. Just something to think about. We're not ready for it. They plant trees in the fall and some in the spring. But
Isabel, when they were young, they used to send around, like, whoever they contracted with to plant the trees would water them, like the new ones initially, but do they not do that anymore?
they get their trees now from New Hampshire, and they plant their trees.
Okay.
What's
And
interesting,
I was impressed. I mean, this property, the trees that died, the soil looks horrendous. And it's also built, it's raised in a way that is not supportive of roots. And he said, oh yeah, they're going to do they're going to do a soil sample and, augment the soil before they plant trees. Now he's planning on planting Western cedars because they need an evergreen shield from the traffic. So I don't know, but I think, not getting into, micromanaging what they're planting, just how we can support the town to be more green.
I
So,
think that sounds good. I know they have tree bags because they actually planted 5 on Laws Brook recently. And they definitely do put those down. And I know with neighbors who got the part of the tree planting, they would come around with a water truck in years past. I don't know if they do that anymore, but
Well, they're doing that, but it's really stretching their personnel to water
Right.
all the trees. And
Right.
then he's very interested. I said, my water bill is on our fridge. I can't be watering the town trees. And he said that they would make accommodations for, water in the area.
oh, that's nice. I would imagine a lot of people would be happy to help with that situation.
Yeah.
yeah,
Something
I
to think
wonder
about.
if
Janet, thank you for joining. We now have a quorum.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, it's been a busy, hectic day. On the subject of watering, I've been tending the Thoreau Street Pocket Park since 2014 because Rich Rain roped me into doing it. And I've tried to get them to water, and they have, in the summer, they'll come around maybe twice a week. There's a big truck or something with a big water tank, and they will water things. I think that they get an intern to do it, or somebody just a summer intern.
Mhm.
But if it's a drought, they're not going to do any more than that. I've had to get bucket brigades basically organized in drought years. My 7 favorite people that I can exploit for this.
Yeah.
I think you were one of them one time.
Mhm.
So the town will only do so much.
Well, and rightfully so. They can only do so much.
Yeah, and there's a lot. I haven't read up the most recent stuff on the budget, but apparently we're coming into some hard times. So I wouldn't expect. I think it's a great time now that COVID's over, that we can get people to come out and do things and help. So I think a lot of getting neighborhoods to adopt a tree or something might be useful.
Yeah, that's a thought and we can continue this in the fall as a discussion. But what else?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but luckily there's been so much rain recently. But if each neighborhood kind of knew like where the new trees were, then maybe they could organize themselves to keep eyes on them, like, and if the town could suggest what's a good watering schedule if we don't get rain.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, if you just go and put water on it, it's just gonna roll right off. The better thing to do is to have the bags. The town has a lot of those bags. I don't know if they'll supply one with every tree,
Yeah.
but they'll,
Let's not spend a lot of time talking about it now. Let's think about it, and then we'll talk about it when they're ready. They don't even have their list of trees yet. So,
okay, well, I was just gonna say a 5-gallon bucket will do it
Yeah,
with a tiny hole in it.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't leave it to the neighbors. I think somebody needs to oversee the whole thing and keep an eye on things, or they die. And I can show you ones in my neighborhood that have died.
So when I read the minutes, they were all fine to me because I wasn't there.
Good. Does anybody else have a problem with the minutes? Okay, so let's say the minutes are approved. Anybody want a second? Okay, good, good.
Who's taking notes?
I've started taking notes, but if somebody else wants to pick it up, I'm sure you'd do a better job.
Not me tonight, no.
Okay. Well, I'll just continue. It's okay.
Thank you.
Why don't we go on to Pollinator Week? Priscilla, thank you for writing the article for the bridge.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, my pleasure. And I learned that the deadline is actually Friday instead of Sunday. So just word on the street, if you need to get an article submitted, don't wait till Sunday because it's kind of too late. But they were nice and they squeezed it in.
Okay, cool.
uh,
So this is Sunday for the following week then.
You have to do Friday for the following week. So they wanted
Ah.
a full week in advance. And for some reason, I was under the illusion of Sunday because I've actually thrown in a few other articles and they
Okay.
squeaked it in, but I think, have so many articles now, they live by the Friday deadline. But they
That
were
makes
really nice and understood that we wanted to let people know in advance. And I thank everybody who's on the pollinator committee and also the wonderful signs
Yeah,
that Isabel, I think, was able to pull together. I mean, those are just so
Oh.
fun to keep those at the gardens.
Laura really put it together.
And
And there's,
Laura,
And they left them up, which is really nice. I don't know how the rain's been to them,
They're
but
yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're okay. Yeah.
those bees are really cute.
yeah, Isabel, that was great that Lauren McClure gave you those.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
agree to-
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. And the signage shed that, I should go look at the gardens more. But I know when we were visiting the garden over at, the high school, that pollinator garden, the signage on the plants was terrific.
Oh, yeah, they're the stellar group.
I sort of like the idea of taking a cup and taking a notch out of it, because it's a fairly strong structure, actually. You know, you've got a label, but it's got strength.
We use the recycled yogurt containers.
Ah, there we go.
We
yeah,
recycle those.
those
and
are
cut
those
them
are
up.
fantastic because we tried wood in the past and the wood would decompose. So after doing the winter sewing project, realizing recycled yogurt was the way to go. It's fantastic in the China markers. So it's great.
Okay.
So what's next on the agenda?
Well, let's see, we've covered Pollinator Week and we've kind of done a pollinator garden update, but maybe is there anything else you want to discuss there?
Well, I think I've had a conversation with Delia about the conservation land
Yeah.
pollinator gardens, and she wants to be sure that the plants are pure strain.
Okay.
And she's really concerned about where they come from, not only just what they are. And she suggested that we pool all the interested parties and order seeds for the winter workshop so that we know the source of the plants, rather than doing what I did, which was the share, going to share places and asking people, and then also taking people's plants. So we need to come up with a list that she can then edit as to what she does not want in conservation land. And I asked her about this because Freddie had posted a Canadian vetch for one of those rare bumblebees. And, you know, when I asked Dr. Gagir about it, he said, oh, well, it's native, you know, it's native, you know, and I said, well, it's not native to New England. He said, and he came back with, well, you know, with climate change, the things from the South are, you know, a lot of double talk about it that is not what Delia wants. And she said, you know, Canadian vetch spreads like wildfire, you know, wildfires, and she absolutely would not want that in conservation land. So I think, you know, I think we have an obligation to really honor her conservative approach to conservation in Concord.
Yes.
So I think we could take Gagir's list and then see what else we want to add to it. Because there are other things that people may want, but maybe we just stick with Gagir's list and ask her what she is okay with and not okay with. I don't know
That
what
sounds
other.
like a good approach, because at least from Jagir, we know that those plants are useful for the pollinators that he's checked them for. And it's,
Right.
you know, it's not all the pollinators and it's not all the plants, but there's no reason why we can't take a subset of that that's suitable for Delia.
Yeah,
Would Southborough, you know how Lady Fern Farm did that nice spreadsheet with the color photos for Southborough? Could we start with like showing her that and maybe adding a few others and see what she thinks? And should we limit to make it a little simpler for winter seeds? So should we maybe even have fewer seeds, or what do you think? Just make sure we get the variety that you want and then share it with her.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure that the rudbeckias are on there. You know, and so I think I added rudbeckias from the Tufts group. And maybe what we do is we combine those two and ask her for, I mean, if we limit the number of seeds, we limit the diversity.
Right.
And maybe we should figure out what is a reasonable number. I mean, we had an extreme number.
Yeah,
But-
and I also wonder if you want to think about what sort of conditions, you know, so get seeds that are great for shade versus seeds that are great for full sun versus moist versus dry, you know, so having some nice diversity in those groups, the sunny, hot and dry versus the partially shaded and wet, just because everyone, you know, the conservation lands even, I'm sure, have very different conditions.
Mhm.
Yeah, most of them are shady and wet.
Okay. Except for Harrington, right? Wouldn't that be more hot and dry?
Yes.
But, you know, last year and this year, my cardinal flower has been doing okay out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not that dry.
But that's a great idea to brainstorm those lists and then show them to Delia ahead of time and then order seed, and that was so much work for you, you know, gathering all of it. Yeah.
And maybe we can, you know, join forces with Wayland and Lexington in ordering the seeds.
Mhm.
So that then, you know, it just reduces all the wear and tear.
How about, would you add Lincoln to that group or approach
Yeah.
them?
Thinking,
Yeah, and another category I would put in is resistance to deer. Because I understand the people in Lincoln are starting to get their gardens munched and they're beginning to take that more into account.
yeah, but you know, there's nothing that's really resistant.
Well, there's a range of things. They don't eat, I don't think they eat hyssop. They haven't eaten the hyssop at my house yet. I'll put it that way.
Mints are more resistant, but they're automatically on the list.
I mean,
I don't know of any early bloomers that are resistant.
yeah,
And
that's why all the spring ephemerals aren't here anymore.
the late ones are, I mean, yeah, I mean, goldenrods, yes, but I mean, all of my asters have been eaten.
Wait, wood aster must be resistant. It's all over the place here.
Nobody gets eaten.
Oh, well, the deer are not, okay. There are
They're
a
not-
lot of deer here.
They will eat it.
Well, the stuff at my house, they're not eating.
Well,
Amazing.
Harrington is gone. It's, well, not gone, but it's been pruned
I
significantly.
wonder if it's a different variety or something.
No, it's New England aster. And I mean, it was a number, there's like 4 or 5 asters there, and they're all eaten. So,
Well,
but I'll look, you give me we'll look through the list and see what we can get.
okay.
And then the other question is, do we want to try and do a native plant sale? West Concord Day, Discovery Day is not going to happen. So the Green Thumbs at this point, I don't think are doing a bulb sale. I don't know that there's a natural, unless the library is with climate, whatever week will help.
The one thing I was thinking about, Isabel, was like, in terms of like taking money for, you know, I was thinking about Delia's issue with the kits in the spring. Like, if we don't have a pathway group, I don't know that we could sell them yet. Like, if you don't have a group in place this fall, would it be better for the spring, like to do a kit sale then, if maybe there's a pathway ready, or what do you think?
Yeah, we can do, yeah, we can do the spring one. I mean, it would compete with all the other plant sales. But
Yeah,
maybe just join those plant sales. And we could, you know, ask to join the Concord Club, the Green Thumbs Club.
yeah, and definitely make sure there's a substantial amount of native plants. The only thing I thought about when doing a sale for the fall was, where, if you did sell things, where would you put the money? You know, is
Right.
that an issue, or is it not? Or I don't know.
Yeah. I'll think about it some more.
Yeah.
So in the fall plant sale, we're not quite sure we're going to check it out. Sounds like.
Yeah, the money's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
The
And
money.
what's the issue with the money? I'm missing that.
Okay, the issue is that the town departments, including us, can't receive money. I mean, we could get a grant from the garden club, but we don't have an organization to bank the money.
Oh.
Maybe once, if we do get a pathway and people are interested in doing that, then there might be an easier way to save that money.
Who's the participant? I have a 7th person, and I don't know who that is.
Oh, that's Amy. That's Amy Hoey.
Oh, great. Amy, welcome. Sorry, I didn't know you were there. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Hi,
joining.
guys, sorry.
Hey, turn on your camera if you'd like. We're casual.
Oh, all right. I'm just so tired, but all right.
That's
I
okay.
totally get that.
No,
I'm-
I mean, some groups, they ask you to turn off your camera, but we're kind of casual.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay, so then we'll think about spring for a plant set.
Okay.
And maybe the kits, remember how Delia had us all organized to help, with those kits that she ordered, the plugs? That might be, if we use that model, that could be a nice way to do it? Or, no?
Well, that was because it was a 1-week turnover.
Okay,
Basically, you're just getting a plug, Yeah, we could do that. We could do that way.
I felt like it was kind of,
You're the only one I know who got a kit. Did it work for you?
we got a kit and we put it in at Fowler and it looks, and I think Priscilla, you got one for the high school, right?
Yeah, we got one too, and it worked
It's-
really well.
It's the things are doing okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
If we-
Us as well.
If we do that, can we somehow track them and like offer people support? You know,
Yeah, I think that's the other part is we need to start collecting data on what we do,
Mhm.
you know. Okay, I've sort of done my talk.
Okay. So part of what we're gonna start doing is keeping sort of a journal of what we've been up to.
Yeah, and also if we disperse information, who gets it and what they do with it.
Okay. Good. Well, we do have our meeting minutes, but I think we're talking about more detail than that, about the actual pollinator plants that are available in town.
But if we give out plants, who do we give them to and then how do they thrive and do the people use them?
Okay. Okay. No, I think that's a good idea.
Because she
I
gave
found
out,
out around to planting my winter soap plants last week. And a little more than a week. Of course, it's been such wonderfully rainy weather for planting. They look great. They're doing just fine. And we're finding more and more red bud at our house all the time. So if anybody's looking for a red bud,
shall we dig those up and pot them so that we have them for Ag Day?
I think if the little tiny ones, we could probably do that too. The bigger ones is probably better to move them when they're totally dormant. Yeah. Yeah. We could certainly bring a couple to Ag Day just to look at. I found one the other day that was only this tall, you know, it had about 4 or 5 leaves.
I have a bunch of those too, Mark. I have red buds in my yard and I've got lots of little babies as well.
It's,
Do you want to help digging them and we put them in pots to save them for Ag Day?
oh, I think so. I think it could be, the one I found the other day, like you said, Amy, I found one that was only so high, you know, and I inadvertently pulled it out of the ground thinking it was a weed.
Mhm.
So it's bare root, and I go, oh, that's a red bud. So I stuck it back in the ground and watered it. And then, of course, we've had all this rainy weather and it's doing fine. But I think it'd be very easy to take that plant and put it in a pot. Yeah.
That would be great to give away.
Yeah.
Those would be
it'd
good.
fun. And I think, you know, fall and spring, when they're dormant is the absolute best.
And how
But
many,
I've noticed that we have a mature red bud that's about 30 years old and it spreads seed all over this place. We keep finding new ones all the time. Should we talk a little bit about Ag Day preparation?
yeah,
Because I think I like the idea of tracking who gets the plant and hopefully finding out how they do. I think that's good. And maybe where they went. Should we, and I think earlier on, we were talking about this before we actually started our meeting of, you know, having a program similar to last year.
well, I don't have a source for any plants this year.
Okay, okay.
you know, we didn't take attendance.
Oh, I'll take attendance right now. Thank you. Actually, we've got the recording at this point. We know who's here.
Oh. I didn't
So,
realize.
right.
May I ask when is Ag Day and what is your involvement?
Okay. Isabel, do you
It's
want to,
It's September 9th, the second Saturday of September. And it's a day when the farmers in town show booths, and there were a lot of booths related to any farming and gardening and such. And takes over Main Street for pretty much 9 to 2, I think. And there is a garden tour usually connected with it. That is mostly vegetable garden tour, but doesn't have to be garden tour that way. And we have a booth where we have literature and open discussion. And last year I brought a monarch, butterfly, chrysalis, and swamp milkweed, 60 swamp milkweed plants to distribute. Because a friend had them and, didn't want them, but I don't have, she didn't, I don't think she's got that this year.
yep. I'm wondering if,
I was gonna,
go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I know in addition to the red buds, I think we could probably supply New England asters. So I might be able to dig some of those up and put them in pots too.
Yeah. I'm
And
also
the thing
thinking
is
this,
that if you plan ahead, I mean, if you plant, unless you're looking for mature plants, if you plant the seeds right now, you'll have something by
Yeah,
September.
Well, many of the native plants need to winter over, and they need
Some
to
of them
cool
do, yeah. I mean, but then if you have seeds that did already,
right.
if you already, whatever, froze them and,
gratified, yeah.
yeah.
Do we still have, Laura, do we still have plants at Valor that need transplanting?
Yeah, and I was gonna put some in bigger pots to put in the fall, but I think we can still divide some. We pick a cool day and divide some up, and we could save them for Ag Day for sure. Cause then people, it's perfect timing for planting them.
Okay, so we could
Yeah.
do those. I'd be happy to do that.
There's still a lot there and we now have more pots, so.
I think rudbeckias are also grow so easily too from seed.
Which do?
Rudbeckia, I mean,
Yeah, that's
everyone
true.
likes flowers, right?
The thing is that it's an annual, it's not a perennial.
Rudbeckia?
No, I think that some
It's
of them
it's
are
definitely
perennials.
perennial.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, yeah.
yeah, it's a perennial.
Okay, cool.
So does somebody want to plant those?
I can plant them. How many do you want?
As many as you can do.
Well, like thousands? I mean, how many? Give me a guideline.
Well, 60 plants covered what I gave out.
60, okay.
Yeah.
And you want them in the little pots or? Okay,
That'd be great.
all right.
If anybody needs pots, I have a ton,
What size are they, Mark?
various, from little to big.
Okay.
But not that many big ones, but most of them, I try to save them that are about this big,
Great.
about the
Yeah.
size of maybe a little bit smaller than a hand.
Yeah.
Could we-
I might
Thinking
need some
about
little
pots,
ones.
I was thinking with the pots
Bigger than
idea.
this, bigger than that, right?
Yeah. Laura, do you think Fowler would be willing to be a place where people could bring pots potentially?
Yeah,
at
definitely.
times?
Yeah,
So-
and when we had our first transplanting workshop, we ran out of pots pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
the jugs
sure.
really produced a lot of seedlings, and Dory has saved. I have a bunch in my garage, and Dory saved some from. We actually were using. We sent Tom to get red Solo cups, and we were putting holes in the bottom and using that. But if we're going, we probably want more substantial or slightly bigger ones if they're gonna wait till go into the ground in the fall. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the solo cups actually are a good size. I mean, that's what people
Okay.
a lot of the native plant people. I've got to plug in lose my battery.
Okay. But yeah, so but extra plant, it's great if people, like, we could encourage people to save some of their pots when they get seedlings in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I would think just being a resource like that, like
Yeah,
if Fowler was willing to do that, have one crate or something saying, here's a place where you can drop off and people can pick up as needed. Just
yeah.
so you can do various projects like.
I think Dory would be fine with that. And the jugs, I don't know if we have maybe 8 or 9 jugs still in the back that need to be transplanted. Just we set them on the ground, and
Yeah.
we got rid of everything from that first transplant because I brought it up to the high school last week. So
It's great.
yeah, there's room for more. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. This sounds good. The other things we did for Ag Day, beside giving away plants, I think we're pretty well set on. Lois, would you be willing to make a couple more signs?
Yeah, I mean, I took the one apart from last year. That is
Okay.
no longer.
And I think I saved.
Tell me
your
what you
sign.
want, though. The sooner you tell me, the better.
Okay. And I think I saved the sign you made for the last thing we did. I'll look in the basement. I'll send you a picture of it.
Okay, because
It's a fairly
Oh.
big sign. It's quite good.
oh, that's right. The one with the brown background.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
okay. Forgot about that.
Okay.
And Christine had brought a tent, which was very helpful.
Yeah,
Yes.
We're gonna need a tent.
Yeah, the top thing, that was really good because the sun gets kind of bad.
Yep.
And I have 2 chairs, fold-up chairs. I can bring those. So I'm gonna ask Christine for,
Yep. And I can bring a table. This is good.
And if you have a clipboard, even just with a spreadsheet, you could just ask people to leave their emails if they want, if they feel comfortable.
You know,
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe we should have an index card where somebody takes a plant. They write down the name of the plant and their contact. So we can then follow up on, which plant they planted. Sort of
And-
create a database that way, because the clipboard in the past has not been readable.
yeah,
Oh, that's a good point. But-
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Laura. Isabel. Okay.
is it, okay, so who would, suppose like I take a plant and I'm in trouble, who would I contact?
Well, what I did with Delia's is I put out a sign and said I was more than willing, gave my email address and said I'm more willing to help plant. But it kind of got covered up with the rain.
Oh.
A
Yeah, I
terrible
mean,
rainy day.
I think, we can think about it is to have some way that people could contact us or somebody in the group, or, to get some help.
I'd be willing to be the contact.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm going
You
away in September, but only for a week.
do you think, we ought to have like a separate email address for that so that, like somebody could cover you if they had to, Isabel, rather than having your personal one?
Sure, we could do that. We could set up a Gmail.
I mean, that way, somebody else could cover it if you,
Right. So who's savvy enough to do that?
I can do it.
All right.
thanks, Amy.
What do you want the email login to be? What name do you want on it? I mean, you know,
How about pollinators at gmail.com if it's not taken?
my guess is that's taken, but I can try it.
Or we could do Concord Buzz.
You could try Concord MA or.
Well,
right?
that I probably for sure is taken. But how about Concord Buzz, BUZZ?
Okay.
Or, you know, put the pollinator and buzz, I mean, like some combination of that.
I don't think we're picky, Amy.
Yeah. Well, trust you, Amy.
Yeah.
You know what? I can try doing it right now as we're talking.
Awesome. Whoa, whoa.
Great idea. Yeah. I think that's a good idea to have some way for folks to get a hold of us that are, you know, putting in.
How do you get rid of email addresses though? Because, you know, if we get disbanded or, you know, I don't know how you close down emails.
Well, but if this account is independent of our committee in a way, right? Just a Gmail account that we know
Right.
about. Yeah, so it's all right.
Well, it can be transferred to some, you know, this, if we get disbanded and we get absorbed, hopefully we don't just get disbanded, we get absorbed, and that can go on to the clerk or the secretary of the group.
Yeah, because it's not a concordmad.gov account. It's a
Right.
Gmail account. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think we're in pretty good shape. Is there anything else about?
So what's the thing, what's, if you
So
want
it
me to
ends
do
up that Concord Pollinators is available, as is Pollinators Concord.
Excellent.
Do you guys
I
have a
would-
preference?
I have a preference for Concord Pollinators.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll
too.
vote for
Me
that.
too.
Yeah,
Me
that
too.
sounds awesome.
And
Great.
I think that with the Gmail account, it can only be forwarded to one address, I think. And so whose address should this be forwarded to? Well,
Do you
like,
think it can go to, it can't go to multiple, because like we have a Fowler email, that Fowler at Concord Library, but it's not Gmail. Well, it is Gmail. That goes
oh,
to like
and it's
3 different-
and it's forwarded to multiple, Laura?
Yeah, like so
Oh,
Dory.
okay, I'll try it.
I don't know, you might be able to.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, at least our library one goes to 3 of us, you know?
Okay.
So- think.
Good.
Or could you just have, if everybody just had the login,
Okay.
they could
So
just
what do you
monitor
guys-
it?
Yeah, so it's going to be Concord Pollinators. And what do you guys want the password to be?
Buzz.
Okay, so BUZZ.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay,
Doesn't it have to have some other things to it, like 1, 2, 3 or something?
we'll see. Okay, so it needs at least 8 characters. So do you want it buzz buzz or do you want some numbers?
Oh, buzz, buzz, exclamation point. That'll be
buzz,
harder
buzz,
for somebody to come
buzz
up with.
exclamation. That's good.
Thanks.
Is it all lowercase? Does it matter?
I did make it all lowercase.
Okay, good.
Makes it easier.
Okay, and the recovery email address? Who wants to be in charge of the email?
I guess I will with consultation. I'm totally, difficult. So it's Isabel V. Bailey. V
Okay,
is in Victor Bailey. ISABELVBAILEY@gmail.
so the middle letter is B as in Bailey?
No, ISABEL, V is in Victor,
The
B is in boy, AILEY. And can you add other people?
I'm going to try. It needed all
Yeah.
this information.
But even if you can't, then say Isabel's away and she's not monitoring it, she can say, hey, make sure somebody else on the committee checks it this weekend. Everybody knows the email and the password, so they can all
Right.
log in,
Good.
right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
And is this against the open whatever laws,
No.
committee laws?
Oh. I don't know.
It doesn't strike me that it is, because it's not a deliberation. It's just a service. And all we're doing is providing help to people that are planting the plants.
So we
Uh,
could do our website.
Yeah,
You could add it to your website, yeah.
yes. We could point, I don't know why we couldn't point to it from the website too, if that's what you're meaning, yeah.
Yeah. And if you join a pollinator pathway like the Connecticut group, you'd need an email like this.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
Amy, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's terrific.
All right, next on the agenda.
So I think, are we done? Did we do it?
No, I need to know what's your theme for the fall? What am I making posters for?
Oh,
Oh,
we'll leave the leaves for sure. And
You want- Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't have taken the other one apart, I guess, huh?
no, you should not have by any means. And then
Okay.
also, I guess, winter sowing.
yes, I think that's good. And fall seed collecting.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
climate prep week, it's funny, I looked before the meeting because I thought Rini had set up September 27th, which is a Wednesday night during climate prep week, to have a Doug Tallamy webinar. Just, a short one for people that aren't familiar with his ideas, and then maybe have a panel of some people that are already, having native plants in their gardens, answer questions, and to try to invite people,
Okay,
different groups around town that are interested. So that's one thing. And then if we do want to set up a pathway, we should probably make sure we check in with some of people that see if Delia is interested, or Jane, or yeah,
Okay.
and give her. So I feel like I can't believe July is already disappearing, but
yeah,
so we definitely should think of that. But write down September 27th at 6:30, because I think that's the tentative date for that. Also, the library's having a program on monarchs August 10th, and that is on the calendar.
okay,
And I don't know much about it, but just called Magical Monarchs. You can pull it up. So
okay.
Okay. What, it's called Climate what week?
it's Climate Preparedness Week. And I don't know what the theme is this year, but that's last year when we did the, we planted the pollinator garden. We did the seed collecting on the conservation land with Jane and Delia, seed saving workshops. And so we thought it might be a great way to talk to more people about, starting a pathway.
Good.
So we could have that information on Ag Day.
Yes.
Yeah, and we could start sharing the events at Ag Day, right? And start promoting it.
That's a great idea.
Priscilla, is there anything we can promote on Ag Day for you?
I know that's a great question, because it's always a new group every year. And so I don't know, but I was thinking that it would probably be great to somehow, Laura and I have talked about Eric Sims, the director of sustainability, to somehow, continue to make all those interconnections obvious to people, that you can go to the library for this. You can go to Concord Ag Day to learn more about the pollinator committee. So I just think, you guys being a nice sounding board that day, saying, follow the library so you can get more information about this.
Yes.
What
follow,
about- yeah.
other groups, how we're all working together basically to achieve a similar goal.
What about, you mentioned, Isabel, that there's often garden tours with Ag Day. What about, could there be a pollinator garden on the tour? Is that possible? Would that be helpful?
I don't think they're doing, are they doing tours? They used to do farm tours, but then it was like they had too many people
much.
they needed.
I remembered some farms had open, like you could drop in at Hutchins and have a tour or see them harvest
Yeah.
potatoes or.
They used to do that, but I don't know them doing
Okay.
it recently.
Yeah.
We'll check with them. We'll check with them. I'm gonna call them and check and see what, because I missed their meeting.
Why couldn't we just point out some of the pollinator gardens that people could go see on their own?
We
There's
could.
one over in front of Barrett Farm. There's the one that Isabel's done over on near Marshall Farm. And
The one off Baker Ave is cute.
Yeah, so we could
Sure.
just recycle the Pollinator Week brochure and make it
Yeah.
fall pollinator tour.
Yeah, exactly.
can-
Make it a self-guided tour again.
I'll
Right,
do that and then I can give you a draft of that. That will be easy. Yeah, that's perfect.
yeah, I think one of
That's
the
cool.
really good points about doing that is people get to see the plants at different times of the year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Different
Different,
things are
and-
blooming.
You know, if you're
Right.
trying to figure out what you want to put in the next spring and you want to know what it's going to look like when it's mature, then seeing it at Ag Day would be good.
Yeah,
That's a great idea. Yeah.
yeah, that'll be easy. So that's, you can have those brochures out at Ag Day to hand out so people could visit the
Mhm.
gardens. Yeah.
Actually, we could do it in the spring again too, because people could see a garden as it matures,
Yeah.
Yep.
as it fills in and looks better.
Right.
And another idea I had, just thinking while you guys were talking, it might be really child friendly to have a map, have them put like push pins in as to where their family garden is, and just say, oh, I'm going to add like a butterfly friendly plant or a bumblebee friendly plant. So
Yep,
pins
good
for
idea.
the bumblebees, orange push,
That's a great,
just kind of a fun map of, might be really fun.
I like that very much, a map of.
I like
of-
that.
Yeah, and the, it didn't, the library did that when we gave out the seedlings, and sometimes we got people to put in their pin, but sometimes we didn't, but I could ask, is it Nate, the town archivist? Because I think he supplied us with the big maps. I could find out how, if he could get
Oh.
you one.
That would be
Yeah.
great. That would be really
Yeah.
good.
That would be awesome. I missed the one that you guys did the library, but I was just
We did it,
Just
because it
something for
didn't,
kids to say, that's my house.
yeah, exactly. And we didn't do it this year, we did it the year before, but we
Okay.
can try again, yeah.
Yeah,
Also, Lexington has two, a morning and an afternoon garden tour on the same day for their native gardens.
Oh, right, that's, yeah, that's, there's the same day, yeah.
Oh, September 9th?
Yeah,
Okay.
And they were that way last year because I bugged
Yeah.
out and went to the gardens in the afternoon.
yeah. I have to say Ag Day last year was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I'm going to be away that weekend, but it was a blast, and we will try to send some green teamers to it again.
that
Good.
was,
They were nice to have them, even though they were shy.
they were so sweet.
Okay, so I added,
They were good kids, so I'm hoping we can send some more.
Okay, Amy?
okay, I added all of your emails to as forwarding addresses for this email account. So you should in your email see something that you just have to click to confirm if you want email from this address to be forwarded to you.
Okay.
Lovely.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Yeah.
And I looked up the Magical Monarchs. It's at 4 p.m. on the 10th at the Good Library room.
Great.
Is that an in-person workshop?
Yes,
Thanks. And at
Is that
Fowler?
something you have to register for too?
I think so, yes,
And
Okay,
let me
all right,
see.
it's at the main library.
okay. That sounds awesome. That would be really cool.
Whatever happened to their, what is it, Reynolds Garden at the main library? Was it Mary Reynolds Garden that they had originally proposed when they did the addition?
There is a nice garden outside the children's room, but I don't know enough about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen Mary Reynolds things, that's really quite interesting. There's a movie that's based on it that's quite sweet.
Dare to be Wild.
Oh, right. Isabel, you were mentioning that.
Cool.
It's kind of a fun, it's kind of a fun movie to watch. I mean, it's just sweet family kind of
And you're
thing.
saying the children's garden at the main library is based on this?
It's not, it doesn't,
Oh.
originally they had said they were going to do that, but
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen it or heard about it
Yeah.
happening that way. And I went up and a while ago I asked about it and everybody looked at me like I had two heads.
Oh, I didn't know there, I heard Isabel talk about the movie, but I didn't know there was a connection to the garden plan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that was a long time ago. That was like when it was, back quite a ways.
She is very interesting to follow, because she's, there's a couple recordings of her speaking that are very poignant and very good. There is no registration for the Monarch thing.
Okay, great.
And what day of the week is that? Do you have it as Isabel?
I think it's Thursday.
Okay, thanks.
I can double check because I've
Yeah.
lost it.
Okay.
So if we have
Yeah,
a big,
there's, you know what,
if we
there's
have-
45 spaces. So there is registration required, but there's 41, there's hardly anybody signed up. So plenty of spots.
okay,
Okay.
thanks. Who's running it?
It's a woman, Elka Jans Harms, and I guess she's at the International Development Aid at the Fletcher School at Tufts, and she's taught music at New England Conservatory, but apparently she and her husband have been raising butterflies, so monarchs. So I think they're just sharing some of their experiences. And
Okay.
someone, maybe one of the mill dams, passed it on to Rini as a really good program that they attended in Littleton. So I think that's how it came to be. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know anything about, I don't know much about it.
Tufts has quite, like the grad students, they have quite a program in.
Oh, I know, but I don't think she's affiliated with this. I think this is a side gig from her professional.
No,
sounds
but
like-
they for us might be at some point a resource for us.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
no,
Yeah.
I agree. I think Isabel knows the name of the Tufts graduate
Yeah.
student, Nick something.
Nick Dorian.
Yeah.
Dorian, he would be fantastic to get at the library sometime because
I know.
webinars
I
are
heard
incredible.
his
He
carry,
charges money for his talks.
he what?
He does charge for his talks.
Yeah. That's
He's
okay.
well
we
worth
could-
it though. He's
yeah.
great.
And the Cary Library program's recorded, and so that's a really nice one to watch. He did such a
Yeah.
good job. Yeah.
What's his name again?
Nick Dorian. Lois, I'll send you the Cary recording.
Yeah,
Cary
his
Library
recording is
recording.
fantastic. I shared that with Reed Moffat, our high school
Oh, yeah, I'd like to see that
student
one.
insects. I
Yeah,
said,
I'll
this is a
send
recording
it.
you have to watch.
Thank you.
He's excellent.
Great.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I just been
He
down
offered
there.
So a
stuff
fall workshop with us around asters and goldenrods to, identify and look at the bees and everything. And it was about $250, $300 for a field trip.
Okay.
A question, how did the camera thing the other day go? Did people learn how to take bee pictures? I'm still trying to do that.
The Lincoln people are thinking of doing a Zoom computer follow-up because a lot of it is computer work. that once you've got the pictures, you need to be able to find the right screen and then use that, download that screen into the app, and then go through the identification of the bee, what the thorax is like and the head and everything.
Yeah, because I'm very excited. The bees are back in our little front yard garden.
Yeah, there's another technique you can do too, as well as that. And I think it's good to do because when you log it with them, you can see where you've seen the bee, and that's the data they're collecting. But if you want to confirm your identification, and actually they will confirm it if you send them the pictures that in other words, we make a guess as to what the bee is, but these grad students at UMass Dartmouth will confirm. Yeah, they'll check, and that's what makes it so useful. And if you just want to see the idea of a bee, you can try playing back a video of the bee on your computer that you've recorded on your phone, and then point your phone at it and use the application called Seek, and it'll tell you what it thinks the bee is. I found that kind of use interesting because I saw a bee that I thought was Bombus fervidus, and it turned out to be Bombus terricola, according to Seek. And then when I looked at it more closely, I said, "Oh, that is the correct identification." But regardless, I think using the Beecology app is useful because they're really collecting a lot of data on what's being seen, and a little more details than the folks at Seek.
Well, they're collecting it based on also what they're feeding on, which
Yeah.
is adding to the plant information.
Yeah.
No, about Amy? Do you know what we're talking about? We're talking about the Beecology program out of UMass Dartmouth, where they're trying to study the rare bumblebees, and they're asking people.
Yeah, I did see it.
Okay.
Good. It's 10 after 8, and we usually try to keep to an hour. And I think we've done a lot of good stuff we've got quite I'll try to condense these notes down and send them out. And Christina will be appalled at my work. And is it okay if we adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Okay. Any second? Okay.
I
All in
still
favor?
had a question. I still had a
Oh.
You
question.
have a question?
What
Go
is
ahead,
it,
Lois.
When you mentioned about a map for the Ag Day and put the push pins in it, who was that? Laura that did that? Because
What, I can
so-
ask Nate, who's the town archivist, and he made one for the Arbor Day trees 2 years ago, where he had one made, so we can see if it's possible.
okay, I'll talk to you then. You
Yeah.
and Nate. Okay, because I'm thinking of trying to put together some maybe cork boards or something that we can, periodically use. And I was thinking of a cork board, and I have some fabric still left.
Lois, do you need an extra cork board? Because I have one if you need one. It's not too big, but
Okay.
it's a good size.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk about it. But I
Okay,
mean, just
great.
kind of have some things that we could kind of, plug in.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'll email you. Yeah.
Okay, then we can adjourn.
Could I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Okay, so instead of just Rebecca, could I also plant echinacea? Like, do you care if, okay.
As long as it's the old fashioned, not the
Yeah,
cultivar.
right, the one that's the
Pink.
local or native.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Terrific. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay.
Well, thank you
Okay,
all.
Right,
Yeah.
bye.
Well, we did never kind of ask, introduced Amy and asked her if she had anything else to say, just to make sure.
Oh, yeah, one last thing, Isabel, is that I think you're blaming some of your plant disappearances on deer, but it might be bunnies too.
Yeah,
So,
Well, it could be voles as well. I mean, there are lots of critters out there. Yes?
I'm thinking of getting a critic camp. And so if anyone has input, give me a note, please, on critic
Okay.
camp.
Very good.
Right,
Okay.
bye,
Great.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank,
Night.
thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, Mark,
Yes.
quick question. Now that the bees are here, would you be willing to come over maybe sometime in probably like the late, like the evening, and kind of talk to people here about bees?
Yeah, sure. We were
And
talking about doing that
pollinators.
last spring.
Yeah, but there were no bees around. And it was like one thing and another with everybody for scheduling, but
Yeah.
like a particular time of day. And I was thinking that now that the bees are here, and they'll be here until like the fall.
Yes,
know,
I think it'd be busy. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
The remainder of this month is pretty busy for me, but
Okay.
along toward August and September, I think we've got
Yeah.
plenty of time.
Okay, I just was going to check in with you. And it's like the late, like sunset seems to be just before sunset, they seem to really get like,
Okay. Well,
I
it
don't
might be-
know if that's a good time or not. Like sometimes the middle of the day, they bees seem kind of like not so much around, but
I haven't really watched that effect. Well, okay, we'll see. You'll know when they're there, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I'll try to, what I'll also try to do is look at the people in the back have a vegetable garden.
Yeah.
So see what that, yeah, my tomatoes got lots of blossoms and lots of tomatoes.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I just have them in pots on the corner here. I don't know if you've ever been by, but I mean, we don't have a whole lot of space. And
Yeah.
do you know, like, they talked about the place in Bedford's corner, Bedford and Old Bedford Road. That the house, as far as I know, the housing authority owns that property.
Don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah, well, see, the thing is, we keep having, I run up against walls here with the housing authority. But if they already have, I know they have the rain gardens there. I'll have to go check out and see what's over there. Because
Okay.
if they have some more pollinator or some more friendly stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we ran into trouble last spring about it, that the management really didn't want. And then and some of it has to do with the Department of Housing and Community Development, which just changed their name, and I don't know their new name.
Yeah.
Is where they get their funding.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of the rules are really weird.
Okay.
So, I mean, some of it, they can change things. And I actually spoke like a little directly to because we had maintenance and the director here last spring. We had some garden stuff, and I spoke directly and said, look, because as soon as it's mentioned anything to do with pollinators or bees, right, there was like this negative body language and this old like, "Rrr."
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
that.
and so, I mean, I said, look, excuse me, I'd like to have the negativity leave. I said, I'm not really up for the negativity. Let's just
Yeah.
listen and see what we can do.
Yeah.
And several people contacted me afterwards, my neighbors, and said they were very happy that I said that. And I kind of didn't know if I'd overstepped, but you have to be really careful because sometimes there's pushback that's comes in a different way.
Yeah.
They don't what you're saying or doing, and I did find out the director is actually, she is allergic to bees, apparently exquisitely so. So she
Okay.
does have a bit of fear. And I said to her, yeah, that's unfortunate. But other than that, I just talked to her and I said, well, I said, the bees that really sting the most, I said, are the bees that, and wasps that, aren't natives.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
I call them the fluffy bees. I said, most of the fluffy bees, I said, they don't tend to bother you at all. I
Yeah.
said, it's taken me, she knows I'm allergic to a lot of things, but I'm not so far bees. And I said, they're kind of friendly, actually. I said, they don't seem to bother people. I said, it's the wasps and You know,
Yeah.
if they get up your pant leg, yeah, they bite you.
That can hurt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, but anyway, thanks, Mark.
Oh, you're
I'll
welcome.
talk to you and see what we can do on that.
sure. Okay,
I
sounds good.
think there's possibility here. And I mean, I look at that whole big lawn in front of Peter Bulkley every time that, and the dying trees. And I go like, we should do better. We should do better.
Okay,
So I'm on a thing, and thanks so much for all of your help
Oh, you're
and that.
welcome. Yeah, it's
I
good.
know.
Okay, bye-bye.